Hello and servus, this is Claudia speaking again, and I would like to share my project for the StencilGirl blog. This month the theme is treats, and of course it is associated with Halloween, and I think it is a treat to have a cool Halloween themed project to decorate your home with, but I also treated myself to a very happy and messy time at my craft desk today, which means I tried to not work too neatly and to be too exact and overdo stuff. For example, I just left the back of all the pieces as they were, which for me means stopping where the fun ends, and where, for me, sometimes projects would become more orientated towards the outside, because you start thinking, oh, do I have to cover the back? What if I give it away? Can I leave it just like that? Can I really leave the envelope that I've used visible on the back sides? And I think you can. On one hand, it's not really a lot of fun having to cover up back sides only to have a very neat project, especially when it is done as loosely and messy as I've done mine. You can still see the paint on my fingers. So I've decided to be brave and treat myself to really having a happy time instead of overdoing anything, and left all the back sides plain. I think I love the look of cardboard, of brown craft cardboard, so I left it the way it was. I even left the edges of the cutout pieces. Usually I tend to blend them with archival ink so you can't see any, but I think this time I wanted the brown edges to match some of the brown shades in the background, so I left it. I started my background with the wonderful, just let me have a look, I have a list of stencils because the names are complicated. I have used the Thicket background stencil to create the background, as the name says, and this was a very funny, messy part of the project, and once I saw this turned out well, that gave me the inspiration on how to move on with the other pieces, how loosely to paint and what colors to choose. And I mainly went for a bit of brown, 2 shades of gray, not 50, some black acrylic paint and some white acrylic paint, and mixes of these. And I've only used the titanium white to highlight stuff, and there's a little surprise to my project. On top of some of the surfaces, you can see a bit of it here. I've used a Deco Art Glow It paint, so it's a glow-in-the-dark paint, and I've tried to capture that on a picture. I had to go to my bathroom because that's the only room we have where there's no window and it's absolute dark. But the best my camera could get was a very blurry image. But I have included it with blog post on the StencilGirl blog so you can see the effect. I'm sorry I couldn't take a better picture. Yeah, so that was the background. And then I only used part of Jessica Spawn's lovely 3 owls and a branch stencil, because I needed the branch to hang my bat on. The bat was my focal image and my starting point mainly. I wanted this stencil so much, and I knew I had to do a project where maybe the bones, the skeleton, wouldn't be visible in the first place, but when you light the project and then dim the light, you can see the skeleton glowing in the dark. I've also used the Free Crows stencil, and the scarab beetles stencil for some creepy crawlies in my project over here. And my really beloved wolf stencil from Roxanne Coble. I love this one so much because it has so many possibilities on there. I have used the eyes in the background with the transparent glow it paint, so you can only see these when turning out the light. But I've also used the wonderful chopped off hands to create mobile, so maybe Blair Witch isn't far, and we all know now where we are in this forest and where we should stay away from. So what I did is mainly focus on painting loosely and not being precise. You see, I've just done a very rough edge with a not very wet brush, and I think you need to be consistent with brush stroke quality across a whole project, so you can't combine too neatly done pieces with roughly done ones, because this is a contrast that doesn't work. It just looks as if you hadn't done one thing properly and the other is okay. So I tried to really have a lot of fun in the first place and be messy and not focus on little details and lose time there. And yes, I hope you like my little project. And yeah, I hope you treat yourselves to some happy, messy time at your craft desks too. Thanks for watching. Bye.